It's your girl, the Grown Woman Gamer, and today I'm coming at you with my takeaways from this weekend's playoff game. I don't know what happened to Chris Paul and the Suns, but the Chris Paul that I saw in games 3 and 4 seemed like a completely different player than the player we saw in games 1 and 2, the player that we saw have a darn near perfect game in the Pelican series. I know Chris Paul celebrated his 37th birthday, and from that day on, he seemed to be a little bit off. It's unusual for Chris Paul to turn the ball over as much as he did in Game 3, and he typically has more of an impact on offense than he had in Games 3 and 4, and I'm talking not just about scoring, but also assisting the basketball. It's also highly unusual for Chris Paul to foul out of a playoff game. I think that was the fourth time in his darn near 2-decade career that he's fouled out in a playoff game. He didn't seem to be in that mental zone that he sometimes gets in, and hopefully in games 5 and 6 he can pull it together. In fact, I have no doubt that Chris Paul and the Suns will rebound at home in game 5. The Suns are this close to making it to the Western Conference Finals, and I hope they don't drop the ball the way they did last year against the Milwaukee Bucks. What stood out to me about this weekend's games was Jayson Tatum and his pretty mediocre play in game 3. I've seen Jayson Tatum play in numerous games, and he has this switch that he can turn on in the fourth quarter. It reminds me a little bit of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. I haven't seen that in this particular series, and I think that the Celtics need him to turn on that greatness switch that all legendary players have. Jayson Tatum's struggles in this series are a testament to the defensive prowess of the Milwaukee Bucks, particularly Giannis, Jrue Holiday, Bobby Portis, and some of their role players. But we all know Jayson Tatum is highly capable of scoring on anyone in this league. And the Celtics are going to need him to complement the excellent play that we've seen from Jaylen Brown in order to defeat arguably the most dominant player in the NBA in Giannis Antetokounmpo and the reigning champion Milwaukee Bucks. If the Celtics do not win this game tonight and they go down 3-1 against the Milwaukee Bucks, there is very little chance that they would win this series. While I did predict that the Celtics would win this series in 6 games, they may prove me wrong, and I'll take my lumps as a woman, and I won't feel any type of way about it, because I've said numerous times, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the most dominant player in basketball. I just felt coming into this series that the Celtics were a better team, and that as long as they were playing well and playing at the level we saw them play against the Nets, that they could beat the Milwaukee Bucks just like we saw them beat the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 2. Ime Udoka may have some difficult decisions to make because the Celtics team we saw in Game 2 was able to beat the Milwaukee Bucks handily without Marcus Smart, and it might be worth employing that strategy again to see if they can win again tonight, but we shall see. I'm looking forward to the game, and I'm hoping that the Celtics can pull out a win and tie up the series. As for the Philadelphia 76ers, I am continually impressed by Joel Embiid and the impact that he has on his team. He plays injured, which is not something I advocate for, but when a player does play injured, it is a testament to their dedication to their team and their desire to help them. The easiest thing to do when you're injured is to say, I'm not going to play, and I respect that too, because this is your career, this is your body, this is your livelihood, and you don't want to jeopardize that by putting yourself in a situation to get hurt even worse. But when you have a player like Joel Embiid who says, I know that I'm injured, but as long as I'm physically capable of standing upright and moving up and down this court, I'm going to play. You have to respect that level of dedication and that willingness to sacrifice your body. And that's why I get so frustrated with this regular season MVP award. In the last few years, it's gone to players who have not been able to elevate their team in the postseason, and I find that problematic. With all of the twists and turns that the 76ers have faced throughout this regular season, from the Ben Simmons drama to the James Harden trade, to the impact of the virus on the team earlier in the season, Joel Embiid has stood tall and helped his team to win games and progress. He is a leader and clearly is the most valuable player because they were literally unable to win without him. That is the definition of most valuable player, and I feel like he was robbed of this award. Jokic is an amazing player. I don't know how many ways and how many times I can say it. I'm not trying to take anything at all away from what Nikola Jokic has accomplished this year. He too faced a lot of adversity playing without Jamal Murray and Kevin Porter Jr. for most of the year. And he is the most efficient player in basketball. But it's my opinion that the MVP should go to a player that not only plays well in the regular season, which is great, but also plays well in the postseason where it truly counts, and hopefully the NBA considers this for the future and makes some adjustments in terms of how they award the MVP. Let me know in the comments section, do you agree with Nikola Jokic receiving the MVP? What do you think will happen in tonight's Celtics-Bucks game? And will Chris Paul and the Suns pull it together in Game 5? Don't forget to hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, comment whether you agree with me or not, and don't forget to share if you care.